the 10 millimeter round. My name is Tom with Weapons Education, and if you've been following the channel, you know this is my favorite round. The very first gun will be in this video is a 10 millimeter, and we have 7 magnificent 10 millimeters on the table. And what I want to do to start the video is to just glance across the table, zoom in on each gun, and then we're going to talk about ammo a little bit, and then I'm going to put each gun in my hand and talk about it in detail. So let's start out with just looking at the gun, and in the back of your mind you think about, well, which gun is that, who makes it? You probably know most of them. But remember what I said many years ago, a good 7-8 years ago, the 10 millimeter is gonna make a comeback. I knew for those hunters out there, I know for people for personal protection, they want that high-powered round, a semi-automatic round with the ballistics of a .357 Magnum or a .41 Magnum revolver in a semi-automatic. We have it. It's right there at your fingertips. Here are 7. Let's take a close look at these 7 here. See if you can guess who makes it, right? Just for now, until I put it in my hand. Okay, now this is a revolver, and I've spoke about all these on individual videos, and when we get into the nitty-gritty here, we'll talk about that. So there's one, and I've done videos on at least 25 different 10 millimeters. This is just 7. So by the way, if there's any 10 millimeter that you want more information on, you just Google whatever it is. Let's say Dan Wesson 10 millimeter. Google Dan Wesson 10 millimeter Weapons Education in the search bar, and that video will come up. Okay, so here's a second one. I think you know which one that is. And then there's a third one. I think you know which one that is. You've got to know which one this is, huh? One of them that really kind of started it all. And look at this beauty here. Okay, probably know which one that is. Just beautiful stuff. Oh, I got excited when I did this video. This video, when I did this, was one of the most exciting days of my life. And that's a double stack. I guess they call them 2011s, you know, right? Double stack 10 millimeter. And here's another one with a ported barrel and slide, all compensated. So what we're going to do now is we're going to slide into some ammunition footage, and then we're going to look at each gun one at a time. So if you have a 10 millimeter, please discuss it in the comments about your 10 millimeter, what you like about it, the recoil, what you think. Is it for hunting? Is it for personal self-defense? Is it just for target shooting? I'll tell you right now, it's one of the most accurate rounds, and it is powerful. It is one big bang. Let's talk about ammunition right now. As you can see some right here, and I'm going to sit down and we're going to just do a little comparison here of different ammo, and then we'll get into details about each gun that is on the table. Okay, let's do that right now. Let's talk about the 10 millimeter round briefly and what makes me so excited about it, because generally speaking, a round with this much ballistics usually belongs in a revolver, kind of like a .357 Magnum, a .44 Magnum, 500 Magnum, .41 Magnum, but we've got it available in a semi-automatic. So what we're looking at here, just to give you an idea, and there's a lot of new people watching, so be respectful when we do segments like this so everybody can learn, and throw your tidbits in on ammunition. So here's a .380, so you can just grasp in your mind, you know, the size of a .380, a lot of new people watching. And then we're moving up to a 9 millimeter. And then here is a .40 caliber. And then here is the 10 millimeter, the focus of this video. You'll notice the 10 millimeter is slightly taller than the .40 caliber, because a 10 millimeter is a longer .40 caliber. Not to get too detailed. But now this is a .357 Magnum, and the reason why I put this revolver round on this showpiece here is to show you something here. Here is a .357 Magnum revolver. Remember, there's a lot of new people, so they may not realize that, well, to shoot a .357 Magnum, and I'm not going to get into the Kuhn and stuff and all that, you need a revolver, and you need, Tammy, please zoom in here. We know, guys, we know you need a rim, real close there where my finger is, a rim at the end of the cartridge, so that when you drop it into the cylinder of a revolver, it won't slide all the way through, and it'll cycle the cylinder as it's supposed to. Okay, so the big powered revolvers, the .357 Magnums, 44, 41, 500, and all the others, the .460, okay, they're revolvers. But we've got the capability to shoot a Magnum ballistic type of round out of a semi-automatic. That's what gets me excited about the 10 millimeter. And I just put this here for you, by the way. That is the Stouty 45 ACP. Now, my wife is here, Tammy. Thank you as always. Please zoom in on these ballistics here, which are extremely real. Now, I've spoken about double tap. I've done individual videos on double tap. What I like about this self-defense ammo for self-defense is that they're hand-loaded, and that, not to get into too much detail, you're getting what you pay for. Meaning, if you're buying a 10 millimeter round, you've got every ounce of gunpowder in there, and it's a true full pressure round of a 10 millimeter. There's a couple out there, a couple of others out there that do it, but in my opinion, the Double Tap ammunition company, they specialize in 10 millimeter. It's what started their company, and this is my ammunition of choice for not just 10 millimeter, but for all rounds, for personal protection, for hollow points. And with that said, okay, here we have 125 grain moving at 1,600 feet per second out of a 4.6 inch barrel. That's humming. I mean, there's rifle rounds that are about 2,000 feet, 2,100 feet per second. And we're talking about a pistol. So, this is really, I mean, there's videos on YouTube of, you can see 10 millimeters, I mean, going through windshields and then going through cow carcasses and then blowing up stuff all the way through. It's just an amazingly powerful round. So, before you buy one, a gun that we're about to look at, you may want to shoot one first to make sure that it's not too much recoil for you. My wife, you've seen her shoot 10 millimeters on the channel in the past. You know, she's all of what, 5'4", 120 pounds, and no problem. No problem. It's all in your mind. It's all in your training. Let's take a look at the Iver Johnson first. I tell you, I trust my life with this gun, and if you're a hunter, you certainly want this with you for multiple reasons, and let's talk about it right now. First of all, it's super high quality and an extremely affordable cost for what you're getting. At around $1,000, I'm going to ballpark the figures here, you're getting a lot, including a ported slide, full compensation here, ported barrel, and then Tammy, please zoom in real close there. When I shoot this gun, it helps with the muzzle flip. It really does. So that's a huge advantage with the 10 millimeter. Kimber makes one while it's on my mind, and it's a wonderful gun. I forget the pronunciation. I think it's like a Yaga. But that gun's $2,800 with this same exact type of porting. And here you have the package with Iver Johnson with the 6-inch barrel, which gives you a line of sight from rear to front, of course, an inch longer. And you have an adjustable rear sight and front sight on this gun. There's really not too much you really want to enhance on this gun, and it shoots like a dream. It feels like it's on glass, and I'm going to be doing an additional video on this gun because I've been carrying it a lot lately and I've been shooting it a lot. And before I do a second detailed review on a gun, I like to have at least 1,000 rounds through it, and it's been really proving this thing to be a tank of a 1911. So there's your Iver Johnson. This is the Eagle XL. Okay, and you got your serrations, of course, in the rear and the front. 1911, 6 inches. You got your, you call it a skeletonized trigger, and it's a feather of a trigger. Very tight. Everything is perfect on this gun. For the money, this might be one of the best bangs for the buck. And if you like that extra inch of barrel, which there's nothing wrong with it, you're going to probably want a shoulder holster with this. Some of the bigger 10 millimeters I'm going to show you, I'll mention you if you want a shoulder holster or not. I'll put the link below to my private shoulder holster company below this video. So if you've got a big gun, whether it be a 50 AE or something like that, or anything you want to carry in a shoulder holster, I'll put my link below to custom handmade shoulder holsters. But that's how I carry this. I like to have this with me. Let's go to another one right now. Take a look at this beauty. Okay, who makes this one? Rock Island Armory, a 2011. When you go to their website, and I've done a detailed review on this, you want to put the number 52,000 in the search section of their website to get to this exact gun. This is a double stack, 15+1 rounds of 10 millimeter. Boy, is this gun fun to shoot because you've got the extra weight and the girth that will definitely get rid of any recoil for anybody. It also has every enhancement that a 1911 requires, including, tell me if you can see that front sight, a fiber optic front sight. This is model 52,000. Their website, you have to hit 52,000 in the search engine. And 6-inch monster. Look at the mag well on that. Look at the fact you can put whatever laser light. You got your NATO rail, and you've got a gun that has been flawless. I mean, the guns of modern day are different than they were even just 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And we just went a leap forward with the 1911 with these double stacks. And Rock Island Armory at an affordable price, and if I remember, maybe $1,000 I think is what this gun cost. I honestly don't remember. It's in that range, but the trigger on this gun, and everyone who purchased one because of my first video emails me back saying, you were right, this is an excellent 10 millimeter double stack, massive amounts of rounds, a beast killer. This thing will take down anything in North America. Yes, I personally think this will take down a polar bear. I'm not a hunter, but I can't see a polar bear living with one of those double tap rounds, full pressure rounds, hitting it 7-8 times if you had to. And yeah, you need a shoulder holster for this. There's no one who makes holsters for this. I do. So if you've got anything off the wall, or any gun you want, like I said, my link is below for my shoulder holsters. And there you have, this is the Rock Island Armory model 52,000. This is a Kimber. Take a look at this beauty. The Eclipse Custom 2. Now when you go to their website, they just go under the name Eclipse now. And this gun, how do I phrase it? Well, the finish. Let's start with the finish. It's not going to shine during the day. I'm under 10,000 watts of lighting here. And it's not going to shine at night. The finish on this Kimber is, I don't know how they pull it off. It's just magnificent. The fit and finish of the gun is absolutely perfect, and I'm not just saying that. I'm telling you, after thousands of rounds through it, flawless. And people who say Kimbers are not worth the money, well, sorry, I disagree. I am just totally in disagreement with you. I think Kimbers are worth every dime. I've heard every fallacy that they rust and things like that. Well, there's things called cleaners like Ballistics and things like that to clean your gun or take a scratch off or anything like that. They're not just works of art to look beautiful. These things are really high-end production guns, and what I like about this is when I shoot it, the recoil is coming straight back at me, and it just absolutely feels wonderful. That's why when you buy any gun, it's impossible for you to rent every possible gun, especially a pricey gun. It's good if you had a friend or something like that to practice with his gun or try to shoot it first. Or you can hear from my mouth to your ears. I'm telling you right now, if you get a Kimber Eclipse 10mm, you will be satisfied. You can trust your life with this. It will go bang. 1911s like to run clean. Keep it clean. Learn how to disassemble it, reassemble it, keep it clean. Okay? And that is the Kimber Eclipse. I think this was about $1,400. You know, it's a pricey gun. It's a quality gun. And that's what you get with Kimber. Let's move on to another one right now. So here we have a revolver. Nothing like that sound, huh? Nothing like opening up a beautiful wheel gun and having that cylinder. And you close it with the crane here, by the way. You don't smash in the cylinder. This is the Smith & Wesson Model 310. Not in production anymore. I'm glad I bought it when I did. You could probably find one on Gunbroker, probably used, which is okay. And there's also a Model 610, a little bit longer of a barrel. This is a snubby 2.5-inch barrel. What makes this special, well, of course, is two things. One is the scandium frame. And what I want to talk to you about with Smith & Wesson is they are proprietary with scandium frames. I've shown you this gun briefly in the beginning of the video. This little small one here is a .357 Magnum, and it's a scandium frame. Okay, and now this is a scandium frame also, which reduces weight, and it's a really super strong alloy type of material to reduce weight. So the Smith & Wesson Model 310 is a revolver that shoots a semi-automatic round. So why did they do that, and how did they pull it off? Well, we know to get a round into a cylinder, it's got to have a rim. So what they did was, you take a 10mm round, look at those beauties, huh? And they have these plastic doohickeys here, well, they're called moon clips. And then you drop the moon clip in, and there you have it. And you can have 4 or 5 moon clips for spare ammo in your jacket or pocket or wherever you want to carry your spare ammo. But here's a little warning on this, and maybe one of the reasons why they do not produce this gun anymore is I'm really not such a big fan of the moon clip, because you can buy 10 of them at a time, And I would say 7 out of the 10, once you get it brand new from Smith, are a little tweaked and they're just not perfect. All right, so now you're down to 7. And then when you start shooting with the moon clips, especially with the power of a 10 millimeter, they kind of bend a little bit. You always have to have new moon clips nonstop all the time. So it's a wonderful revolver. It shoots the 10 millimeter perfectly. Of course, it's a revolver. It handles the recoil perfectly with the scandium frame. But to get a semi-automatic round into a revolver, you've got to have the moon clip. And this is a gun that you can look on Gunbroker for if you're really hardcore into revolvers and you want a 10 millimeter in a revolver, like me. And I carry this sometimes and I enjoy it. There you go. It's model 310, very lightweight, very like a feather, and that's what makes it special, okay? And as strong as steel. So there you go, model 310 or model 610, Smith & Wesson. Google it, check it out. Let's go on to the next one right now. Well, we all know what this is. One of the first 10 millimeters that started it all. The Colt Delta Elite. My very, very first gun and most precious, probably in my collection. Well, maybe the Pythons. No, there's so many guns. But this Colt Delta Elite 10 millimeter is really outstanding. Now, this is from the late 80s. I would prefer, if I did not own this, to buy a used Colt Delta Elite from the late 80s compared to the brand new Colts, 10 millimeter Colt Delta Elites, because I don't think they make them the way they used to. Okay, you Colt guys are going to yell at me and say, oh, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. I can take it. I got big shoulders. I just think this was the time when Colt was shining, and the beginning of this 10 millimeter Colt Delta Elite, and it was just a magnificent time for Colt, and the quality shows. So nothing wrong with the brand new Colts. They're out there, the Colt Delta Elite. And yeah, I carry this and I'm not afraid of scratching it. I carry all my guns. I don't carry the Pythons because they're showpieces, I have to be honest. But all my other guns, I'm not a nervous Nelly with them. They're tools. If I have to take care of a scratch, I use what's called Flitz. F-L-I-T-Z, by the way. I'm looking at this mirror finish. The brand new Colt Delta Elites do not have this nickel mirror finish. But if you do happen to get a scratch on something like this, a Flitz, F-L-I-T-Z, like I said, will take out that scratch. And let's move on to a couple of guns you're familiar with. Let's do that right now. A 10 millimeter video would not be complete without talking about the 3 Glocks that they have for sale and production that are amazing. Okay, first of all, here's a 29. This one happens to be my favorite. I've got 4 29s. Why would I have 4? Well, I have different places for them. They're not as expensive as some of the other guns I've shown you, and I can put them in places like a boat or a backpack or in the trunk, emergency trunk bag, and all these different places hidden. But I have the power of a 10 millimeter. I can go camping. I can go canoeing and get them wet and things like that and not be concerned like a 1911. And so the Glock 29 is small, it's compact, but you can put the Glock 20, okay, the bigger one, the Glock 20 magazine in it, and then you've got 14 plus 1, okay? So that's what I do, is I have a bunch of Glock 20 mags ready to go for my Glock 29. And while I'm looking at this Glock 29, I'm looking at the lighting system, because one of the reasons why I love the Glocks in the 10mm caliber is I like them for home defense. So you need good lighting for a home defense gun. I do not like these paddles, okay? And that's what most lighting systems have, is these paddles for a lighting system. So what I did along, here's the Glock 20. Oh boy, this fits so good in your hand. What I did along with Power Attack, I'll put the link below for this marksman light, is I helped design this. I spoke to the owner and I said, you know, we need a lighting system where your finger can just do everything, whether you're righty, lefty, ambi, and you've got it all. So this is not an accessory video, but I'm saying you want to look at the marksman light that goes on this rail, and it's a light and laser, and you just use your finger and you get the new modern day lighting system. But you have the Glock 20C, so you got a compensator on the top, and I don't have a Glock 40 handy, but that's the 6-inch barrel, and that's great for hunting, and that's double stack, and that holds a lot of rounds, and that's a tank also. So with all that said, tell me what you think about 10mm. My name is Tom. I hope you enjoyed the video. You know, if you pick up just one thing out of my videos, I think it's a winner for all of us. And I'm here to help. I care about all of you. And throw in your comments, because the comments is what feeds me with more ideas to make more videos for all of us. Check it out.